Hello to everyone. My name is Miguel Mulet. I'm Director of Strategy of TiGenix, which basically means covering corporate development, thinking through the future of the company, and doing everything else that nobody else has the time to do. How does this work? Okay. We are a Belgian-Spanish company. We have most of the operations in Madrid, but our address is in Leuven, and we are traded in the Belgian Stock Exchange, and that is the reason I have to inflict on you this slide. We have 3 products at the moment in development. The first one is an expanded adipose-derived stem cell product for the treatment of a complication of Crohn's disease. The second one is in the cardiovascular space, and the third one is in sepsis. And I will go through these 3. Perianal fistulas are a complication of Crohn's disease, a severe complication. And as you can imagine from the picture, it affects the patients very badly. It's not only a very serious clinical problem, but it also has severe implications in terms of quality of life, because these patients are impaired in many of the aspects of running a normal life. The population of the most complex case is significant, and fistulas are also common in the general Crohn's disease patients. Last year we presented the results of our phase 3 clinical trial, and I believe this was the first phase 3 clinical trial with allogeneic stem cells that met its primary endpoint, and those are the results. Not only we obtained a good result at 24 weeks, but since then we have also presented results at a year of follow-up, and you can see that the benefit was maintained, and that those patients that were for which the fistula had successfully closed at 24 weeks, a large proportion of them remained closed at 52 weeks. These results are published in a Lancet paper that was very well received, and that you're welcome to read. And overall, all this led to an agreement that we signed this summer with Takeda. Those are the key terms. I understand that this is the largest deal for an allogeneic. Oops, there's a conspiracy. You can see the deal terms, they're public. I'll go on? Okay. Well, okay, the deal terms you will eventually see, but actually that is not the most important thing for me with that deal. It's the fact that for the first time we're probably commercializing something or licensing something to a company and talking about a commercial product. The experience with Takeda is very, very enriching. We're actually dealing with all the problems of a normal pharmaceutical product at the moment. And at the end of the day, it's about doing the same thing that you would do with any other product with a different kind of therapy, and that is a very interesting situation. My next slide was about well, I think my next slide was about our regulatory development. We have filed for EMA approval, and we're on track for that to obtain the approval, the marketing authorization, by the end of 2017. And so far, we have been hitting all the milestones for complying with what the EMA is asking for us. So hopefully, by the next meeting that we are here next year, we will be able to tell you more about that. And that is for Europe. Our deal with Takeda is for all the geographies except for the US. And in the US, we have to do another phase 3 study with a donor from the US, and that will be starting at the beginning of next year. And that will follow very closely what we have done in Europe. So we hope that it will run as well, if not better, than what we have already done in the past. What was the next slide? Okay, I think that was all about 601. And then we can move on to the cardiac project. This is a project that we acquired from Coretherapix, which was a kind of a sister company also in Madrid. It's an allogeneic cardiac progenitor cell product that we are developing for the acute myocardial indication. And at this point, I can probably go on. Okay, there we go, next one. Okay, so it's a cardiac progenitor cell allogeneic product for intracoronary administration. The goal is to treat those patients that have had a very large and severe infarct and try to avoid them developing or prevent them from developing chronic heart failure. That is the end result of the product. So that's the usual situation. We've done a phase 1-2 study. We're about to complete it. To have the last visit, I think, in the next month. That is the design of the trial. It had a dose escalation and then a phase 2 randomized controlled phase with a relatively large dose of 35 million cells delivered intracoronarily. And there we were looking for functional endpoints. We recruited 51 patients. The good news is that there was safety overall in both groups. We reported on a preliminary endpoint, which didn't say very much, but we are hopeful to get more interesting results by the beginning of next year that we will be publishing. And this takes me to the final product, which is 611, which is phase 2 ready. Basically, this is the same adipose stem cells formulated for intravenous administration for sepsis. We believe that the immunomodulatory properties of these cells have a role to play in this very acute indication where there is no solution at the moment, and that is also an unmet need, given that there is no other product that can address the space between severe sepsis and developing a septic shock. So that is a phase 2 trial that we will start in the second half of 2016 in Europe. It will be a trial that will depend a lot on the seasonality because we're going to take patients that have suffered from community-acquired pneumonia. The dose will be 160 million cells in 2 doses. And mainly it will be based on safety, but we will try to identify in their indications of efficacy in terms of the performance of these, or the behavior of these patients during the follow-up. This is a project that is backed up by the main key opinion leaders in Europe, and we got significant funding from the European Commission to carry it out. And overall, these are the key milestones. I think we can be very proud because we have been hitting consistently all the goals that we have put in front of us. And we are very happy to have had that Takeda deal this year. And we hope that by next year, when we come here, most of those yellow boxes will be ticked, and we will be bringing more good news. I will be happy to take any questions. Thanks.